Welcome to BalletWise. My name is Michael Wise. I am an ex-professional dancer. I've danced all over the world. I've been in big companies, small companies, middle-sized companies, good companies, and bad companies. I've been a principal dancer most of my life, and I'm here to give you the advice to help you raise your standards, help you get through your hard times as a dancer. So, first things first, I'm not a medical professional. I am a ballet dancer, teacher, and mentor. I've helped students from all over the world reach their goals. I have students of mine that dance all throughout the United States and in Europe. So today we're just going to cover some very basic topics, but things that are important, that could be important to you. First topic of today is we're going to talk about rejection. Rejection, whether you didn't get the part you were looking to get, or whether you were eliminated in an audition, or whether you didn't get into the ballet school you were looking to get into, or the college program you were looking to get into. Rejection for a dancer is something we take personally quite often, and we need to learn not to. You have to understand that a lot of programs, a lot of companies, and quite often even in a lot of productions, we are looking for individuals to fill individual spots. So I'm going to give you an example. If I was staging Alice in Wonderland, and you might be that girl that you really, really want to do the White Rabbit. But the difference is the White Rabbit usually is going to be danced by a smaller dancer, somebody that's a little bit more fiery, a little bit more of that overly dynamic style dancer. You might be a much softer, much more lyrical, much more romantic style dancer. So do you fit that role even if it's the one you want? You may not. So that's one way you need to look at it. Whether you've been at the audition for the company and you got eliminated very quickly. That doesn't mean that you're a bad dancer or a bad person. It means you were not what they were looking for. I have been to auditions where I've made it all the way through, did not get the contract. They loved me. They wanted me to be in touch with me. But the difference is, they were looking for a corps de ballet dancer. They were looking for someone that may not necessarily stand out. I stand out. That's all it was. They loved me. If they had a place, they would have taken me, but that position was already filled. So be aware that none of this stuff is meant to be personal. At this point, we have to work on making ourselves strong enough to be able to handle sometimes getting that letter in the mail because you didn't get into that summer session, or you didn't make it into that company, or you didn't make it into that college program. It doesn't mean that you're a horrible person. It doesn't mean that you have failed at life. It doesn't mean any of those things. What does it mean? It means you weren't the right person at the right time. There's another way of looking at it. It just means that there's going to be a new opportunity for you because those were the wrong opportunities. Now, it doesn't mean we don't continue to try to get back into those programs 2, 3, 4 times if that's what you really want. But every time you receive a rejection letter or you get cut, all that means is you weren't the right person at the right time. I have been the right person at the wrong time more times than I can count. But it doesn't mean I'm a bad person. It doesn't mean I'm a bad dancer. It just means my timing was off. And how do we know if we have the right timing? We don't. Because we're not in their heads. There was no announcement that we are hiring for a corps de ballet dancer. There is, we have positions open. So think of it from that way. Now, what about if it's rejection from, let's say, a college program? Well, you need to look at it from 2 different perspectives. Was it an academic rejection or was it a dance-related rejection? Because sometimes we would be able to get into the dance program, but academically we may not be able to, or vice versa. It just may mean that's the wrong program for you. So rejection is a part of life. We as human beings will constantly strive and we want certain things, but quite often we aren't going to get them. So instead of it being something that we take negatively, Look at it from the point of view of it creates a new opportunity for us. Try to find it and be positive. My mother used to always say, we should always try to find the silver lining in every bad situation. So I got a rejection letter, or I got eliminated from that audition early. You know what the silver lining is? I got my whole afternoon free. I get to go out and walk around the town and get to explore and learn new things. I got eliminated from an audition, and I walked outside and I ran into an old roommate that was a musician. We ended up having the best time that night. The fact that I'd been there for an audition that I got eliminated from really became irrelevant. I got to have an amazing weekend with a great friend that I hadn't connected with in years. So you always leave yourself up to have seeing the new opportunities that may happen. So going back to the first comment, which is basically suck it up and move on, I'm not going to tell you that that's not wrong. It's just it's not presented in a way that regards the human being. We feel and it hurts. And those are valid feelings. So take the time to grieve and then get angry, step up and move on. Because if this is the career that you want, you have to be willing to fight for it. If this is the life you desperately want, you got to fight for it. And fighting means you're going to get knocked down, and you're going to get bloody knees, and you're going to stand back up, and you're going to go do it again. Now, you might do it again for a different company or for a different school, but the point is, rejection doesn't mean we have failed. Rejection is quite often our timing was off, or we weren't ready, or we were the wrong fit for that. So keep that in mind. It hurts. It really hurts. And we know that. But I want you to understand that in this industry, we've got to toughen ourselves up. Because rejection is part of the process. And we're going to deal with a lot of it. When I graduated from North Carolina School of the Arts, I went and auditioned for 10 different companies. You know what? Didn't get any of them. Made it all the way to the end. Never got a job. Did I let it keep me down? Did it stop my career? Nope. I had an opportunity to train again in another country. So what did I do? I left the United States and trained. Because, as we like to say, when one door closes, another door will open. That happened for me. And because of this, I had my career. Because of this, I was better prepared. So don't look at your negatives as it's the end of the world. Look at some of these negatives and the rejections that we're going to hear as one more reasons why we need to put the chip on our shoulder and we keep fighting. If it knocks you down, maybe this isn't the right career for you. Because you know what? Every time we get knocked down, we got to stand back up. Wipe the blood off our chin and keep fighting and keep pushing. Because eventually you will find the right opportunity for you and you will be successful. But you're going to get knocked down way more than you will ever have to, than you'll have successes. Standing up after you've been knocked down is what really makes us better. So, that is the first topic. And I think we've kind of gone over what we need to do. I think we understand a little bit better of how we need to deal with our rejection. Don't take it negatively. Look at it as a future opportunity. Look at it as the things we need to work on. And look at it from the perspective of we need to understand and always understand where it's coming from for us to understand how we can better ourselves. So yeah, we got to suck it up. We got to take it. Sometimes the best thing to do is get angry. Use that anger to push forward. because we all deal with rejection all throughout our lives in multitudes of areas. So keep your chin up. You're a fighter. You can make it through this. So we're now going to take on our second subject of the day, and it's a normal one, but it's something that a lot of you have had asked this question. How do I find the right teacher for me? What do I need to be looking for? Well, we need to change the way we're looking at that subject, because there is no one teacher that fits all. Look at it from the point of view of, we need to find the right teacher for right now. And that may be different based off of where you are. For some people, we're young, we're learning, but something's not clicking. So we're out there shopping around, looking for that new school, looking to understand, what do I need to do? Who do I need to train with to get better? Well, depending where you are in that process, you might find the perfect teacher for right now, and they may be a great teacher for the next couple of years. But I've discovered that there are an amazing number of great teachers out there, but many of them don't know how to take you from advanced to that professional level. So wherever you are on that spectrum, there's going to be a teacher out there. Now, the things you need to be looking for is, are they a positive influence? Or are they just somebody that just gives a class and ignores you? We've all had those teachers that look at you going, oh, come on, that was garbage, do it again. But if the rest of it before that is said has been very positive and understanding, well, then that comment isn't going to tear you up. I'm a big believer in the idea of, if I'm going to be criticizing you, I also have to tell you when you've done things well. Balance. Create a positive atmosphere where then you can tear something apart. Because they understand now that it's not you, that you're not being torn apart. You understand that they're helping you become that better dancer. I had one great teacher that helped me get to the point where I could go off to North Carolina School of the Arts. She is no longer with us, but she was an excellent teacher, and she was almost like my mother. I went off to North Carolina School of the Arts, and then I had a teacher by the name of Duncan Noble. For 4 years, he was my teacher and my mentor. And I will tell you, first and foremost, he was a brilliant teacher, but he was a better mentor. And I needed that mentoring just as much as I needed the technical aspects. So that point in my life, that's what I was looking for. Now, you might be different, and that's normal. We are all human beings. We are different people. We have different needs. We have different wants. We are discovering things at different rates. So we need to always know what we need, and then we look for the people that can help us reach that. But remember, our goal is to have that positive environment where we can grow. We feel safe. We can challenge ourselves. We can fall down. We can get beaten up, but we don't feel like we as individuals have failed. We are in an environment that encourages us to stand back up and keep going. That's the sign of a good teacher. It's not just as much as knowing how the technique works. It's understanding how to convey that information to the student. You might find a brilliant teacher, but for some reason you don't connect. That happens. I've had teachers like that. There are other teachers that don't seem to connect with anyone, but with you, they are the new Messiah. They really, really, really just, you get them. And everybody else is looking at you like, are you for real? That's okay. That's normal. We all need something different in our lives to help us rise to the top of the game. So don't think that somebody else's answer is the right answer for you. You have to go take those classes, hear the teacher. Do they show interest in you directly? Talk to the other students. And that might help you understand, are you in the right place? Did you find the right place? Or are you ready to move on? Now, if you're that student that's looking to take it from an advanced level to the professional level, be aware that the majority of local-based ballet schools don't have those abilities. They might think they do, but only you as the dancer will know. That's why there are these institutes and conservatories and amazing ballet schools that are out there, but they're usually tied to companies or they're standalone professional programs. Those programs are specifically designed to help take you to that next level, to help you get to that professional level. So if you're that person that really, really wants to see and make a push and feels like their school just isn't able to give them that, well, then it may be time for you to be looking for some of the larger programs in other cities, which will require you to leave home. And that's something you need to keep in mind. Some people are just lucky they have those types of schools in their cities, and they're able to go into those as well. But that's also a testing ground, because just because we want it doesn't necessarily mean that that is the right place. Because I might walk in the door, I start taking class, and I realize, ooh, I'm not even close. And that's a kind of like one of those big moments in your life. What do? Some of us will look around the room and going, all right, I got to get to work. And you start working and you raise your standards and you raise yourself. For other people, they take one look at it going, oh, no. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with either of those two things. But understand, when you sit there and understand that that's not the right place for you, you also may need to reevaluate, is this the right path for you? I want everyone to explore and understand what ballet has to offer for us. I feel like it is the most incredible physical language that we use to present our craft. But not everyone is cut out for a professional career. Remember, I've said this multiple times. There are 999 reasons why we shouldn't be a dancer and one reason why we should. And no teacher is going to change that. If you just have this burning love that you have to dance, then you might be that one in the one. But if you go into a program and you see that there's no way you're going to raise your standards, you might be in the 999. That may be the one thing that just stops you, and that's okay. Not everyone is meant to be a professional dancer. But I believe that we are all meant to be dancers. It's just that there are differing levels. So if you're looking for the right school for you or the right teacher, understand where you are right now and know that's what you're looking for. And just because somebody's had an amazing professional career doesn't mean that they're going to be an excellent teacher or a mentor. Sometimes you've had somebody that has had an okay career, but they know how to connect with you. They have a better understanding of how the technique works. And therefore, they are that good teacher or mentor. I know plenty of a person who's had professional careers, but they've never made it beyond the court of ballet. So how do you expect for them to teach you how to be a soloist or a principal? The key is, it's really hard for us to teach and train people beyond our own personal levels. I have a problem. When I've trained people, I don't train them to be in the court of ballet. I train them to be soloists and principals. I didn't spend very much time in the court of ballet, so therefore, I may not be the best teacher if your only goal is to be in the court of ballet. I like to teach people to stand out. I like to teach people to believe in the impossible and push for it. But I'm not your normal teacher and mentor. I'm a hyperactive ADHD nutcase. I'm crazy. But I use that to motivate people. Good teachers use themselves to help you gain, help you build, help you become better. And if you live in a small town and you've only been in one place, there might be only one other place across town, you do the best you can. Sometimes somebody might have 2 out of the 3 things you need. Well, then they may be a good fit for right now because you have limitations, and that's normal. So don't beat yourself up just because you can't go flying off to some amazing school. But someday you may have that opportunity. So remember, we got to keep our spirits up. We got to look for the positive things. We've got to build ourselves better, and we have to be there to help others and influence others. So remember, the ballet world will only be as good as we allow it to be. So be positive, believe in yourself, fight for what you need, help others raise their standards, and remember, that is how we become better. So if you're having trouble finding that teacher, look for those qualities in that teacher. If you've been having problems with rejection, remember there's always something around the corner. Be positive. So, once again, this has been BalletWise. My name is Michael Wise, and I hope you have a great day.